Hello and welcome to another edition of Brit in Poland. So firstly, okay, I don't owe my life to YouTube, but maybe my updates have not been as regular this year. And I wanted to kind of give you a bit of an insight into some of the things I've been doing, some of the things that have kept me busy, just to give you a little bit of an idea of where my year has gone. I will add that I definitely have more location videos, so I still need to finish off Katowice, been to Białystok, and I've got a trip coming to Kielce, and a couple of other random places in Poland to make videos for, and hopefully by the end of the year I'll have got to have visited even more places, as well as a whole load of videos for different topics, more museum stuff for Warsaw, more history, a bit of everything that I've been meaning to put together but have struggled to find the time. But okay, introduction's out, let me tell you about this video. So this video is going to be in 3 parts, one very quick update, one part to tell you about well, me moving flat, and another part to tell you about my time back in the UK for any that are interested. So the first part, I didn't really want to have to talk about this. It's not really nice to kind of air problems publicly, but I am going through one problem at the moment. Hopefully something that will resolve itself, but you never really know with these things. So I thought, okay, why not ask people that might be able to give me some advice? So the first topic, the first proper topic I want to go on to is about me moving flat. The problem is, it's now been almost 2 months since I moved to my new flat, and my old landlord has gone very, very quiet when it comes to giving me back my deposit. So we had a contract. Any flat you sign up to in Poland should have a contract, and it was stated in this contract that I would receive my deposit back within 30 days of, or after 30 days of me leaving the property, the tenancy coming to an end. Still haven't seen anything, sent an email, hadn't had a response yet. The deposit was not small. This is the thing, in Poland it's like a month's rent, which is not, you know, a small amount of money, especially in Warsaw. So if anyone can offer me any advice on perhaps some legal routes I can follow to pursue this, I would really, welcome anything you have to share, because I'd like to get that money back. It can certainly do me a lot more good than my landlord. And let's be honest, have you ever met a poor landlord? You know, I'll admit I did my best. Okay, I'll tell you about the move, and then you make up your minds whether you think I'm owed my deposit back or not. So the process of moving, I made the decision to move this year because mainly I wanted to save money. You know, I was spending quite a lot in rent and utilities on this last flat. You know, it was like something like 2,900 for, you know, rent, and the utilities, like just electricity and gas and water seemed to be at almost like 200 or 300 zloty a month, which I think I was being ripped off on, because already the charges in this place, even though it's a smaller apartment, are much smaller. And yeah, so I had a 2-year contract, and I was kind of like, okay, I need to save a bit of money. One of the reasons I got my last flat is it was a fairly big flat, and I wanted to be social, I wanted to have people round, and it was close to the office. Well, with most people, even with the office being open, not coming back, and me not really having parties or anything anymore, it didn't make sense to keep the flat. So I decided to look around, and I'm going to do a separate video giving tips for how to find a flat in Warsaw. But let's just say I had a friend of mine and I were looking online. We found this great, we looked at a few places, we eventually found this place. The landlord is a really, really nice guy, and he's been nothing but helpful since I moved in, been very fair, been very honest, and just a genuine guy, which is sometimes what you need. And so the actual process of moving was pretty labor intensive, I have to admit. It took me a little over a week to move, and this is even with some help from friends. So primarily I was kind of lucky because I found a flat that was like 10 minutes walk away, roughly. So I was, I had my suitcase and a backpack, and I was just carrying stuff from one flat to another. And in total over the week, I think I did about 10, 11 trips by hand. So it was fairly exhausting. In fact, on the first day, it was a bit chaotic because, there was this very slight mix-up between me and my new landlord about the timings. He thought we were meeting Tuesday, I thought we were meeting Monday, and we got it resolved. He came back down on the Monday because he's like, okay, no, I'll on the contract. Sorry about the mix-up. No problems. The problem is on the Monday, it was the last day we had this massive storm in Warsaw. So there was lightning, there was torrential rain, and it was fun. So I'm making my way there, and he's got stuck because there was flooding outside of Warsaw. So he had great fun actually getting to the property. He had to change cars into something a bit more four-wheel drive so he could actually make the journey. It was crazy. But we made it. We signed the contracts. He gave me the keys. All good. So that was fine. Even put up these curtains and things like that, which especially made for the flat. So all good. So I was doing all this manual stuff, carrying stuff, and also I had friends who helped me by taking a couple of carloads of things, and also in addition to the carloads, we had a couple of trips to IKEA because I need to buy a couple of small bits of furniture just to kind of add to the flat. Because when I came in, it had some good furniture already, but I just needed like a new bookcase, like a coffee table, and made a world of difference. And it was really therapeutic, something like that. It's like a week of like manual labor. I was able to kind of sort through my stuff, so threw out a load of stuff I didn't need anymore, a load of rubbish that had just accumulated in cupboards and things like that, some clothes that had some rips. So it was kind of a bit purifying to really, just get that stuff done. And moving into the new flat, the beauty of moving bit by bit, and also this flat is wonderful for storage. The beauty of all this is I was able to organise everything brilliantly. So everything, like all this stuff is together now. And it makes a big difference when I need to find something. Like it'll be in this drawer, it'll be in this cupboard. Nice. So very happy with the flat, saving a lot on the rent, and have a much nicer landlord. So all good and well. And of course, when I moved out of the old flats, I did cleaning. So I was like dusting every surface I could think of, making sure the floors were swept, did some vacuuming, went over the kitchen surfaces, bathroom surfaces, even like went under the sofa, under the bed, all these areas I could think of. And when it finally came time for the landlord to get his keys back in my old property, he didn't give me any notice. He pretty much said, okay, we'll just do it now. He may have given me a few hours notice. It was kind of spontaneous. My friend said, yeah, he probably planned that deliberately so that you wouldn't have a friend there to call him up on certain things on Polish law. Because unfortunately, I think there can be a tendency for some landlords when you're a foreigner to try and take advantage of you. And this is why I'm asking for any help that people can get in getting my deposit back. So anyway, I spent about 5 hours cleaning the flat. I normally try to keep it clean on a regular basis anyway, but I just did like an extra job. And when he came round, he was like, oh, you missed a bit. Oh, you missed a bit. Oh, I'm not happy about this. It's like, there was nothing broken, really. No damage to the property. A couple of marks here and there. But apparently in Polish law, you have this kind of wear and tear part that protects landlords. So I don't know how any of that works, but anyway. But he said, okay, it's not the standard I'd expect. I'm gonna have to get a cleaner in. I said, okay, I'll be fair. I don't mind paying, for a cleaner to come in to do a bit, because what's it going to be? A couple of hundred zloty. I try not to be unreasonable. But yeah, so this is where it was left. Gave him the keys, moved out. Haven't heard from him since. So hopefully I get some update on that. But as I say, any advice, really appreciated. And another thing I did this year, so the last video, I was telling you about the time I went back to the UK. And that was about the travel, so I don't need to tell you about that again. If you're curious about that, then go back to the last video. But, I got to see my parents again. And I got to see my brother, my sister-in-law, and my niece. And it had been a long time. I mean, COVID and the restrictions had basically kind of kept me away from the UK. I always wanted to go back, but I couldn't afford to spend 2 weeks in quarantine. So I was very much waiting for the restrictions to ease. And when they did ease, I was, fairly quick to get a flight out, do the tests and whatever, but just to see my family. That's all I wanted. So that was really, it's been 18 months, it was, or so, since I was able to see them, and it was quite emotional, I would say. Family's always important to me, and it's a shame I can't take them out here to Poland with me, but we've all got to live our own lives. And normally, non-COVID times, the flights are quite easy to get back and see them. But anyway, so what I was doing while I was back, so as well as catching up on family, I was having lots of English food, which I've kind of missed. A lot of people say English food is terrible, but it was good to go to a chip shop. It was nice to go to M&S. I have my favourite UK drink, Lucozade, which I really miss, so I had quite a bit of that. A few of the little creature comforts like sausage rolls and things. It was just really nice. And it was, it was good to kind of do a bit of shopping. I like to shop at Next, for example. You don't really have that in Poland, so I was able to get some jeans that were quite cheap. Because, shopping for clothes in Poland is not a strong point of mine. I haven't quite found a brand that I really like yet. But one of the most significant things I did when I was back in the UK was actually, it was similar to moving flat. Because what had happened in the meantime of me being away is my parents had moved from Oxford down in the south, or Midlands, however you classify it, up right to the northern tip of the country, Newcastle. And so, what was the situation? They had to pack up everything in my bedroom, including, I'm sure, some slightly embarrassing things for me, which you don't really need parents to find, but never mind, it's done. They didn't say anything, so it's okay. And they put it all into boxes. They did their best to, put everything wrapped up in bubble wrap, keep it all protected. There was a minimum of damage to stuff. So what was I doing on my week off? I was going through box after box of stuff, ranging from when I was very small up until the time I left to come to Poland. Already I'd taken a few things from the UK to Poland on various trips back and forth. So this was going through everything I had left, and there were a lot of boxes. I mean, I take after my mum. I can be a bit of a hoarder. I have a hard time throwing things away if I think they could be useful someday, or they have some significance. But I must have gone through about 30 or 40 odd boxes, probably about this sort of size, of books, of toys, of magazines, of old school stuff, of just like collectibles. Anything you can think of I'd built up over the years were pretty much in these boxes. So I was going through box after box, and well, I threw out like half a back garden's full of stuff, because I'm like, and my brother's thinking very much the same, because he's kind of gone through the same process with the parents' move. It's like, if I haven't needed this stuff up until now, what's the point in keeping it? We also identified some books and things that could go to charity shops or we could sell on. My brother's been active in selling some of our old computer games, some of which have actually made a bit of money, which I was surprised by. So yeah, it's been like a total life refresh in a way. And it was very surreal to spend a week going through all my childhood stuff, like all my old photographs from school and university and various trips I took, you know, before the age of the digital camera. And God, just to go back through all that stuff, it brought back so many memories. And, you know, it like puts your life into perspective to think that, wow, all this stuff is just in a set of boxes in a garage somewhere. And wow, it was a big thing for me. You know, it started to make me think about, okay, how much is your life worth? If you measure life on possessions, this is what I have. Of course, you shouldn't measure life on possessions. It's better to measure it on experiences, and this is more my focus these days. But I still have a few collectibles to try and, you know, give the place some character and, you know, make it feel like my own. But essentially, you know, these 2 weeks that I've had this year, you know, is where, you know, 2 weeks of my holiday is gone. And so they've been about sorting out my life. I think we all have those times of life when we have to just deal with stuff. You know, sometimes it's bad, sometimes it's good, sometimes it's necessary. But we all have these moments in life where we just need to go through and take care of certain things. And I'm kind of glad that I had these opportunities this year. I think it's been a very productive year because of that. Now, as per most of my random blog videos, I'm sure not many people will watch this, but if you have managed to stay through to the end with my little rambling, I hope you've enjoyed it. It's nice to talk about these things. It's nice to recount certain things I've achieved this year. And, you know, I like sharing these kind of positive stories. So, thank you very much for watching. So, in the future, let's get back to some informative videos about the country or best ways to live in the country. So, again, thank you very much for watching. And I wish you a pleasant time, and do zobaczenia.